Hello and welcome to my channel. Oh, welcome back to my channel if you're a regular here. Oh, it's you. Oh my god, I recognize you. Oh my god, I missed you so much. What are you doing here? Oh my god, high five, bitch. Nice one. Anyway, today, actually, this joke was relevant because today I'm going to be speaking to myself like I'm speaking to myself, not to you. You know what I mean? Because I have some things I want to get off my chest, and also I have like a few like realizations that I want to discuss. So let's do that with our lovely joint. Any of that? Was it Hebrew? That just flew out of my mouth. Not me, who actually works in retail and had to fucking speak all day. Do you realize that after like we are in a war right now, I still have to go to work? Like, the malls were closed for a while. Oh my god, can you stop? Wait, hold on. Hold on. The city noises, you know. You know how it goes by now. You know, I live in the city. I'm a city girl. Hello. Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna be very honest. What I wanted. Oh my god, you see me now. No way. No way. You can actually see me. Insane. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a few things. I said realizations that I've had. Yes, true. But also, I want to like tell like a story. I don't know, like I want to tell something. Like a story, you know? Like a story time. Like I want to do that. I have a funny story about a time that I sat down to record a story time about a different ghost experience that I've had, and in the middle of the fucking like as I'm getting into the most intense part of like the story time, I hear knocks on my door. Like I hear knocks and like they're just getting like louder. There's like stops in between them. So I thought like they were like very like um far. They sounded like far away, you know? So I thought maybe people are knocking on my neighbor's door, right? Or like maybe my neighbor is like I don't know, smacking the wall with a hammer, you know? So I was like, nah. And in that video, you could see me being like a few times throughout the period of the video. I'm like, is it knocking? Is it not knocking? You know? And I kid you not. Then, after I say that, no knocking, right? And I continue my story. And then, loud knocking. Like like a fucking person. And I not only like a fucking person, like fucking police. You know how police, I don't know if the police ever went looking for you, yeah, or at your house, you know, but when police want to come and enter your house, they don't give a shit about your door. They're gonna fucking slam their fists on the door, maybe even like the fucking gun, right? They're gonna slam it on the door so you would hear them no matter what. You're in the shower, you're gonna get out of the shower right now. So that's how it sounded like. So I was creeped out. I was like, oh my god, is it the cops? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I don't know. Like, why are they looking for me? And I was like, oh my god, did their roommate have something to do with this? Like the snake? And I'm like getting all paranoid on the video. And I'm like, I'm filming. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is evidence. Like, you know what I mean? And then the knocking doesn't stop. It continues and it gets louder, but I don't hear like police, you know? So I'm like super fucking scared. So like I text message like my dad. Like I sent him like a voice memo and I'm like, yo dad, like somebody's fucking knocking, like, and it was mid ghost story, like this isn't it, you know, like I don't know. And he's like, go check, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna go check. luckily for me, it was before the war started. It was a few weeks ago. So I didn't think it was like a terrorist, or I didn't think it was like somebody's gonna kill me. I thought it was the police. You know, I was scared of the police. I wasn't scared of somebody coming to kill me. I was scared of the police knocking on my door, which at some point, you know, I was like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna check, you know, because my dad was like, you know, if somebody's here, right, if it's a person, right, like, he's not gonna go anywhere, right, like, and we can't call the police if you didn't actually see a person, right, so they can't come here for nothing. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's the police, but okay. And it's loud knocking, right, and I have a hallway, and I walk teeny tiny steps, right? Teeny tiny steps that I can't hear them with my socks on, right? There's also, I don't know why the New York accent keeps going when I say on in those like very charged story times that I have, you know? Like I all of a sudden become a New Yorker when I have to say on in a story time. I don't know why. But yeah, so like I walk teeny tiny steps and I hear the knockings and I come so close to the door and like the knockings like continue. I don't know how to really explain it well, you know, because I'm all over the place, because I'm trying to recall what I was experiencing, because I didn't need to tell it to anybody yet, you know what I mean? So I then it was knocking, okay? There were knocking. And I was, let's say the door is here, right? This is the hallway, like from here, like let's say the guitar, right here, is the door. And I was sitting originally where the microphone is, which is where my office is, you know? And through my office, I have this like living room space, and here I have this hallway. And I was here. Which, before, yeah, like that. You know, this is the door, I was here. So, like, I hear knockings, and then I, like, get the courage, and I, like, look through the peephole, and I see no one. I fucking see no one. And literally, like, if there was a person there, like, knocking on my door, they would not have enough time to go. Not even to run away before me seeing them or hearing, like, shoes, like, something. Because here, like, when you're close to the door, you can hear, like, what's outside. Like, anywhere. When you're close to the door, you can hear what's outside, right? Same for the door. Like, when you're close to the door, you can hear what's inside. That's why I was being quiet, you know? But there was literally no one there. Mid-ghost story. And I told that to my dad, and I freaked out. And I told him, yeah, I'm just, like, recording a ghost story time, like, you know, about a very specific ghost who was very, like, if you know what I mean, very sassy. And yeah, and I just never finished the story. And I'm not gonna do it today because it's dark today, and it's I'm not calling anyone to say, oh my god, I fucking hear knockings, you know, no, like, actually, let me go check if my door is locked, because I just, like, not long ago came home from work, so I wanna, like, make sure. My door is locked. Anyway, so yeah, that's a very funny story time about a time I sat to record a story time. But yeah, let's get into today's subject. So, if you know, I am a bookworm because I'm gay. Hello. But it's true, you know, I'm a bookworm because I'm gay. And, well, I'm bisexual, but, like, I'm gay, okay, because my first ever girlfriend was a girlfriend. And my attraction for women was always known, but for men, not, because it was, fueled with trauma. Ladies, too, but I just always knew I liked ladies. Anyway, where I'm going with this, like, if you have read the book Ishmael, like, I cannot even explain to you what that book did to me. I'm reading Ishmael 2, like my Ishmael now, and I'm like mid book, like in the middle, like literally, and I love it. Like, I love it. Like, it changed my life. It changed my life. And I kind of got to know this book by a friend of mine that I have met in the bartending course that I went to, that I've reminded in a few videos, reminded of in a few videos. I don't know. It's the weed, hello. So she was like very set on this book, and she was like, and we were having like, she was a Virgo. She is a Virgo, sorry. It's because she's overseas. It's like she's gone. But yeah. And she would always like get with me into those very philosophical questions and like discussions, and she will be like, oh my god, if you would have just read Ishmael, you would have like seen it in the way I'm seeing it. And I'm like, and like she would say it quite a bit, and each time I would be like, oh my god, yeah, like it sounds like a good book, if we just talked about that and you say it's related to that, I mean, that sounds like a good book to me. Anthropology, like sociology, like philosophy, like I love this shit. Okay, this is mostly what I read, what I entertain myself with. So let me take a hit. And every time I take a hit, you should take a hit too. But if you don't smoke weed, that's cool too. You can just stare at me. Take a hit. So, at some point, me, her, and my first ever roommate became like a trio, like a very good like friend group trio. Like, it was cute. And our conversations would very often, lead to topics from the book Ishmael. Oh my god, my fringe is annoying. Okay, now it's fine. But yeah. Can you see I cut too much? Yeah. 3 a.m. stuff, yeah. But anyway, so like each time, even he would be reminded of this book, Ishmael, and would be like, oh my god, like I want to read this, and his like native language is English because he's Canadian. So he was like, how will I find like that book in English, and stuff like that. But like one day, like I don't know what was it. I think like one day he just like my first ever roommate, just like fucking downloaded the book on the internet and started reading it in English. And then we opened a group chat for the three of us during that period of time where he also started reading that book, and we named the group chat Ishmael Book Club, literally. So which is so fucking cute because it was like our thing. So I was like, oh my god, like I feel left out, like because originally we wanted to have like a podcast, because I have a podcast. It's in Hebrew, but if you know Hebrew, that's cool. It's called Hits Blunt because we're cannabis cool around here. And it has very nice information. Yeah, it's a very like philosophical and authentic podcast. But yeah, anyway, so we had like an idea to discuss Ishmael on a podcast, with her like picking like what to discuss from the book, with my first roommate who have read the book but has a different perspective from her, and a person who has never read the book, which was supposed to be me, because I have never read the book, and I was like, okay, like, maybe we can do this, that sounds like a cool idea, and I can understand, like, I don't know why I was always, like, out of the matrix, like, I don't know why, like, I didn't choose it, okay? They kicked me out of the matrix, like, they didn't let me in. Yeah. So, so at some point she, like, we didn't make the podcast, and at some point she was like, I just want you to read this, and she just gave me the book, and I was like, fuck, and I started reading it, and I was like, this is what I needed my entire life. Like, I was just glancing at it in my library, you know what I mean? Like, it is, that changed my life. I was like, this just confirmed literally all I was feeling and thinking my entire life, and made sense of it. And, I was, like, challenging myself in so many ways to, like, get into the conclusion before the student does. And because if you don't know the whole point of the book, if you didn't Google it by now, you lazy ass bitch, the whole point of the book is that the main character, Ishmael, is a gorilla that got captivated by humans, and was separated in a zoo from his family, or, like, fellow gorillas, and while that, he was, like, alone and solitary, right, in a zoo, which in a zoo all you see is humans, right? For a gorilla, all she sees is humans, because she's in solitary. Also, she has, like, her own Ishmael is a he, but a gorilla in Hebrew is a she, so, like, I automatically made it a she, but Ishmael is a he. So he perceived the world, right, with humans in it. And because he was a gorilla, he didn't think like humans did. But slowly, when the time passed and he was alone and solitary, he, like, started developing thinking, like, wondering, like, philosophizing. And he would ask himself questions about the world, and will try to answer them by what the world is presenting to him, and he unraveled the human society, basically, and its principles from watching and not being a part of it, right? Because we are in the human society, right? So, like, we cannot be unbiased because we are humans and we are in the human society. But he was a fucking gorilla, He didn't give a shit about, like, what Jack over the things. Like, he didn't give a shit about, like, Susan. Nobody cares about Susan. I don't even know Susan. She's a fucking human. Like, I could crush her skull with, like, a slight touch. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably what he was thinking. And, well, if I was thinking like this, I perhaps would also would give no shit and understand the whole human existence, So that's, yeah. So he decided that when he was in the zoo, like, somebody, like, bought him and, like, took care of him, and, like, that person also had, like, a daughter, like, or a granddaughter or something like that, and he would go to school with her and actually learn like humans do in school, and then he got to uni and something like that, and that is it, basically. But then, like, his chaperone died, and, like, something like that, that's what I remember. So he really felt like all that he discovered wasn't for nothing. He has to tell humans about this, because he has figured out something really major for the human society. He must tell humans what he found, you know what I mean? So what he does is this a book review? So what he does is he like publishes in the papers, right? He publishes like in the daily papers a teacher looking for a student with real ambition to save the world. Like, this is literally what he wrote on the papers to get students, and then he writes like the address of where he is. I was like, okay. The book starts as like a very cynical, old, kind of like academic dude. How I would like kind of like imagine this dude as being kind of like Jordan Peterson. I don't know why, but I just felt like he reminded me of Jordan Peterson a little bit. He was annoying. Jordan Peterson isn't annoying to me specifically. I actually liked him. I actually listened to his podcast, unironically. And I used to listen to his podcast also from way back when I was like 17. And I remember like my whole entire family would be like, "Yo, what are you listening to?" Like, I hear God and like morals and like what, like slaying the dragon. Like, what is he talking about? And I was like, "Do you know English? Do you know English all this time? And you didn't say shit about anything else I was listening to but Jordan Peterson?" Maybe they learned something. But anyway, like what I'm trying to say is that person is like very analytic and like cold. I would describe him as like a Virgo, you know. Ishmael, if I had to describe him, I would perhaps describe him either as a Sagittarius or like an Aquarius, you know. And this person, only in the second book we know his name, right? His name's Alan. If I spoil the book for you, well, it doesn't really matter what his name is, honestly. But like, his name's Alan, right? And this book starts with him reading that, right? And saying, "That's so silly, like, that's so dumb, like, who would write something like this? Like, ugh, like, who even wants to save the world? Like, the world can't even be saved." Like, he's emo like that, you know? He's like a middle-aged, like, emo, academic, fucking, has no friends, has no personality, does what everybody else is expecting of him, like a Virgo. I don't know, it feels like a Virgo, but like a Virgo who is like pushed to the extreme of like being obedient and analytical and going by the rules. This is it. This is our guy, Alan. And from that response, you would think he will not go to that place and will just keep going with his life. But no, he's like, I have literally nothing to lose, so I'm just gonna see what's it all about, So he goes to that place, and he realizes that a gorilla is sitting right in front of him, and he being the gorilla, can telepathically communicate with this dude, and also perhaps publish an ad in the papers and teach you about your society. So yeah, that's what he does. He starts like Alan is just like sitting there and he's like, what the fuck, like, and then like the gorilla dude, Ishmael, like explains him his like life backstory, right, and then tells him what he wants to teach, which is the human secret of our society, like, something like that, secret of our human society, and like our unravelings of the meanings of our existence in this society, so he was like obviously hard by the fact that a fucking gorilla is telling him so many factual information, right, that he can understand, and not only can he understand, but is challenging to his intelligence, you know what I mean? So like, interesting, like this gorilla knows something, and the whole time the gorilla is just like teaching him a specific lesson. And that specific lesson, he didn't know at the beginning what was it for him, for Alan, but he knew he had to teach him, like Ishmael, with his information. And in the second book, like, it's a little girl. She's like 14 or she's like 11. I don't know, bro. I forgot. But I haven't like touched that book in a while because I'm actually reading a book I'm going to be reviewing. What? Which is Anne Dracula. I'm not reading it first time. Reading it almost third time because it's just my excuse to read it. Okay, just leave me alone. I just love this book. Okay, if I could I was about to say if I could like run away into a different reality, I would run away there, but like actually no. Like actually no. Like actually I love my life. But yeah. So Ishmael, he is a teacher with a very specific way of teaching, right? Which is through the student. Because he believes that the answer is found in the student. By the way, look at how cool my shirt is. It's like ponies. I got it from my aunt, who used to be like me. Not like me, but in the personality. Like, if she could, she would probably look like this, but like, she didn't. Anyway, so, yeah. And the whole time, he is never telling him, like, the facts of what, like, the answers of what he wants to teach him, you know? He wants him to learn them by himself, right? To, like, get it popped in his mind by himself, right? On its own. So he leads him in the way to get into that answer, because Ishmael knows the answer, right? But also not fully, because each person's answer is a bit different, right? So like, it's very interesting because he is like going on this journey, really, on this like psychological, spiritual journey, right, of like understanding like each other and like how to teach this person and pass your word with the same weight that you feel it, you know, and not make them be like, yo, you're crazy, like what the fuck, like of course not, you know, because like the first thing he tells this dude, he's like, can you tell me your mythology story? And he's like, we don't have a mythology story. Like, Alan, that's what he says. And Ishmael is like, no, you do. Like, every species has a mythology story. Like, what's your mythology? And he's like, I'm pretty sure, like, mythologies aren't real. Like, I don't know. Like, we don't have a mythology story. And, like, the whole thing is that we do have a mythology story. But, like, as humans, we are so fucking, like, principled, I guess programmed, right, into seeing the world in a very specific way. And that book, Ishmael calls that way mother culture, right? That is influencing our view of reality, basically. So, mother culture won't let you understand the answer as it is. You have to go beneath mother culture, to go around her, to like pass her somehow, so you can actually understand the truth in reality, you know? So, yeah. And I thought that this, like, manner of teaching someone is amazing. Like, I was like, I want to be that. Like, I want to teach someone like this. Like, I want to do this. Like, this sounds so epic. Like, this sounds so epic. And I do know quite a bit. And I would love to share my what I know with people who need it. With people who are asleep. Like, I didn't learn all I did for nothing, for just like brag about it, or like for, I don't know, be woke. I mean, yes, it helps me be more zen and more like peaceful and more connected with my higher self, but like, what are we if we're not contributing, right? We can't only take, right? Because then we're enslaved to our takings. So we have to give as well. And I was like, okay, if something I have a lot of and I don't mind sharing, never, is my knowledge. And when I saw that way of teaching, I was like, oh my god, like I want to have an opportunity like this to teach someone what I know. That would be amazing, you know? And I kid you not. I kid you fucking not. In the period when I was reading the book, as I was reading the book, okay? Just so you understand, when I picked it up, started reading it, I mean, I would read it at work. This is my time where I, like zone out because there's nothing to do at work. Work? No. Reading books. Yes. So, because it wasn't like a holiday or anything, it was just like a normal day. It wasn't like a vacation, just like a normal day. So nobody have anything to do in a shitty arcade in a Monday. Like, no, So I would read it at work, like Ishmael, and slowly but surely, I realized that I am. Wait, I didn't really realize it like that. Like, it's not the way I wanted to set up the sentence, if you know what I mean. Because what I really wanted to say is that, like, I didn't realize that what I was manifesting in that time, which was to be a teacher, kind of like Ishmael, to be a mentor, was, as I was manifesting it, was coming true. I always had this, not always, but I guess like through the almost like the second year, I guess like the end of the first year of me working there. I've worked there almost 3 years now, right? I all of a sudden like come to work, and I know like that one, my best friend at work at the time was in a school trip, because we went to the same school, and I was still on the group chat even though I got kicked out. So I knew they were going on a school trip, So like it was actually very funny because like they had shirts which said like the last trip, like acid trip, like the last trip, and it was really funny. For me, obviously, probably not for anyone else, but so this person, like, I all of a sudden come to work, right, and I see him, like the person who is on the trip, and I was like, isn't he on the trip? Like, what? Like, how is he here? I just saw the story, like, the fuck? And then he turns around, and it's fucking Joe Jonas. I always said that. It's fucking Nick Jonas, or like Joe Jonas, with his face, with his, like, the dudes that I know, like, my friends, body, and, like, style and everything. Like, they had the same fucking man bun, ponytail, like, a puffy ponytail, because they had curly hair. They still do have curly hair, they just don't have hair. But, yeah, like, the same, like, fucking puffed out ponytail because of the curls. They also have the fucking same curls, bruh. The chain, the sweater, the way the sweater was sitting on their body was literally the same, and I was like, this is a clone. I don't know if this is a reptilian, the government put him here, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this dude, like, what the fuck. And I'm writing my friend, and I'm like, who is this? I thought it was you. Like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me? And he was like, oh yeah, like, I wanted you to figure out by yourself. Like, Yeah, he looks just like me. And actually, we have almost the same birthday, like only a few days apart. And I'm like, damn. So, slowly but surely, because like I have this like thing about me that like people love talking to me. Like obviously, like you love talking to me. Hello. Um, so that's why you're here, because you love talking to me. So that's why people who work with me just like stand in my booth like their whole shift next to my booth. Why? Because it's interesting to talk to me and there is no work to do. So are we gonna doom scroll, or are we gonna go talk to the spiritual witch? We're gonna go talk to the spiritual witch. Yeah, why not? You know, she's like a stoner. She's like we yeah, she likes women. You know, you know, that's how it was. I don't know. People would just like stop by my booth and just like start talking to me, and it would always fucking be guys, because girls were fucking scared of me or disgusted by me because of the way that I look. Scared by me because I was intimidating them. Like, I don't know, like, why would you think that way? You know, sometimes I need to remember that straight girls don't want to make out with girls like me. You know, I need to remember that, you know, because I'm like, yo, why does she like act like this? But then I realize, and I'm like, yo, I get you, I get you. I'm scary. So, um, he would start doing, like, my friend who worked there would start doing shifts with this person who looks exactly like him. So one time it was a shift just like the two of them and me, and it was literally like nobody. It was like a morning shift or something like that, and like they both come to my booth, which means they left the cash register alone. But okay, um, but they both come to my booth and they like start talking to me, and then he introduces him to me like properly, and I'm like, yo, like I thought you were him, like that was funny, blah 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 blah. And then he starts talking to me about how he is a musician, and at that time he was only like making beats, you know. He didn't really like do more, you know. Now he fucking has an album. He just like dropped an album, you know, called 19, because he is 19. It's like the period of his life, you know. Very cool, something very cool. You know what? I'm gonna tag him in the description. You're gonna see his YouTube channel and his Instagram and all of those things, because I do believe in this person. I do believe in this person, and you know, I would like to support him in any way that I can, you know, and even the small viewer count that I have here could recognize good music when they see it, you know. So, yeah. He started talking to me about how he like makes beats and stuff. And at that time I had the my friend who made the jingle for my podcast is also a musician, and he also like had like a made up kind of like DIY recording studio in my apartment, because like I had a very like small room. It was like closed off, and it was like perfect for like a recording booth, you know. So like, yeah, didn't work really, but at the time, like I told him, yo, like, yeah, I have a recording studio at my house, blah 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 blah, shit like that. Like I love music, blah 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 blah, you know. And I don't know why, like my head hurts, you know. Like I'll drink more water. So if you think I'm gonna cut this, I'm not gonna cut this, because like as long as I don't like fuck up, like majorly fuck up, there's no reason for me to like fucking edit this video. You're gonna have to suffer my you know. Yeah, I'm a human. Hello, we're having a conversation, like it's a true conversation. Am I not to your standards, bitch? No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm not. Anyway, so um and that became a tradition. So since that shift, every shift that I work with this dude, this musician, he would come to my booth and he would like talk about life. He would like want to know stuff about me. He would like tell me about himself without me asking, and that was cute. Um, and like since the beginning, I saw him as like a nephew or like a little brother type thing, because like the person who looked like him, who was my friend, who we went to the same school together and everything like that, I saw him as my little brother, like as my son, Like I do 100% believe that I was his mom in like a different timeline, a different lifetime, I was his mom. Um but this one, I do feel kind of like a maternal, like I was his aunt or something like that. Aunt, sorry. I know aunt sounds like A-N-T, and aunt sounds like A-U-N-T, but I know some people say aunt, A-U-N-T, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say aunt because I also think it sounds better, you know? Yeah. So, he started talking to me about how he is a rapper and stuff like that, and we would talk about like we would actually talk about very deep emotional topics at work, like it's a normal thing. It became a tradition, like I said, you know. And slowly but surely we started realizing that both of us have like more in common than we actually thought. Like both of us were out of the matrix in a major way, like I don't know anyone else other than him that is out of the matrix in that way, you know. So maybe my dad, but my dad is delusional. Like he's out of the matrix into a different matrix. Like he's on a different planet. But like, yeah. So at that time, like I said, I was manifesting having like becoming this mentor for a student, who would like to learn from me what I have to offer. And I would realize that most of the times when we were speaking, it was first of all never a boring conversation, and second of all, mostly him speaking and me giving advice at the end, or like me challenging him to think more and come back with different answers. Like it was, and I was just like conversating. Yeah, I was just like conversating. I was just like being like cynical, Yeah, and what if this and this and this, And then he will be like, "Yo, damn, you just said something." And then he'll go, walk away, think about it, come back and be like, you just blew my mind, bro. And I would be like, I'm sorry about my French. Like I also can't stop like fucking touching it because it's OCD, And I was like, damn. And surely we also started getting closer. Like we became like besties. Like we're besties. Like we're friends out of work. Like we're like friends, like soul friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I know somebody's like if I know nobody is going to understand me, I'm gonna fucking go to this person, I know everybody's gonna fucking turn my offer down. This person is gonna fucking like it. You know what I mean? So, and also, like, I had, like, a twin flame journey, whatever, all of that stuff. Maybe one day I will tell the story. But that made me help him date his twin flame. Because I knew how to deal with it. From a person that didn't work for her. Right? Like, because my twin flame is here right now. My soulmate, He's not here right now. Like, he's here, I mean. But, But, like, for some reason, from my mistakes, I learned so good that I could give him advice on his twin flame journey that he was experiencing right in front of my eyes. Like, I was just like, oh no, it's happening too. It's contagious. I'm so sorry, man. And I'm so sorry, because like, is it gonna be as hurtful as it was for me, as bad as it was for me? Like, damn, you know what I mean? But because I gave him the right advice, and also I was the only person he asked for advice about this, because he's a guy friends don't have really good advice to give you on those type of things. Like, I know, because I had a lot of guy friends in my life, and most of them asked me for advice again. Bruh, I'm telling you. And like, and yeah, and like, I help them reconnect. Like, do you understand? Like, yeah. And like, the coincidences that I had with his twin flame, that all of a sudden she comes to work before his shift starts, and I recognize her from the videos he showed me, like, of like her like playing with her hair, like looking at the camera cute. Like, only from that I could recognize that it was her. And I was like, but he is not here. Like, why is she here? You know, I've never seen her before. Like, what the fuck? And then his shift starts, and he's like, do you know my girlfriend was here today? I was like, yeah, I saw her. I was like, you are not here, so like, why is she here? You know what I mean? And yeah. And one time, like, I went on a bus back from work, and she got on the same bus, and I kid you not, we went off on the same station. And I was like, does she also know about me, or does she not know about me? I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, am I the only one who's fangirling right now? Like, really? So yeah. So I only today realized that I have become his mentor, you know. And through all of this time, I for some time wanted to be his mentor, like, you know, his teacher in some way, like Ishmael was for Alan, and you know, but I didn't think I really deserved that title, because I didn't really believe in myself that I could fulfill that title for my student. But it was a few days ago. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was 2 days ago, when it was like a tarot reading or something like this, that popped on my feed on YouTube. And one of those things that they said that like, oh, sorry. What was I even saying? Was that a sentence? Like, no. But one of the things they said in that reading was that for some reason I need to teach someone something. Like, somebody is looking at me like I'm their teacher. Somebody is my student. You know? And then it clicked. I was like, yo, I am a teacher with a student. Like, it's real. Like, oh my god, I manifested this. I wanted this. And it's real. Not only do I deserve it, it's my responsibility to be there to mentor who needs me. You know what I mean? Like, the universe sent me this person so I could mentor him and help him become a better person and help him make wise decisions, because this is my responsibility. And when I realized that, I was like, spirit sends that. Like, it wasn't my ego, it wasn't my little cute thoughts of self-love or encouragement. It was spirit saying that, you know, like channeling through somebody else. And I was just like, wow. Like, it's not like a choice anymore. Like, I must feel my duty of being this person's mentor. And like, whoever's gonna see this, right? I wanna tell you that mentoring this person also have helped me learn so much. Like, I don't even know where I would be right now in my life if I wouldn't have met him, because he also helped me realize so much how I wanted to do music. Like, I always wanted to make music, to do music, and like, he helped me truly realize that I don't need to be a part of that band that I was a part of. I was the lead vocalist, yeah, and I also formed the band, and I also like broke it up. Hair flip out. But he is a person who does most of his music by himself. What sounds good to him is what is gonna happen, like, it's not gonna pay a large amount of money to somebody who's just gonna make something for him to sing over. Like, no, like, he doesn't do that shit, which is why I always appreciated him so much for that. He always used to talk about like authenticity and stuff like that. And slowly but surely, like, it became a thing. Like, a thing, like, that we are besties in such a spiritual way that I can't even like explain, because like, our souls are besties. Like, imagine the universe being the universe's bestie, what it is. So like, I am the universe experiencing itself in a human form, and he is the same thing because he is a human or existing on this earth, which is, I mean, the human experiencing itself in some sort of a form, and we are actually both the same thing. Like, just the universe experiencing itself. Like, and why would the universe want to have those types of like interactions? Like, why? To unravel what's hidden inside. Oh my god, we're getting so like philosophical out here, so poetic. Not really, but like, yeah. And I just today like realized, not today, like yesterday actually, realized that I want to teach him what I know, because I see glimpses of me in him, of the old me, the spiritually woke, but like not very, but it's not like not very spiritually woke after a spiritual awakening, but not really comprehending, it's like he's in like the little league, and it's so cute, and you're like wanna like tease the information, but like you can't, because it's too soon, and he's gonna have like a preconceived notion about that if you do, because it's not the right time. Because if it was the right time, like, it would just like show up for you to talk about that, or he would just like show up with a topic that is connected, but which always happens, by the way. But like, yeah, like, I was just like thinking about a very specific lesson that I wanted to teach him, and it was and I for some reason was like, okay, today I'm gonna teach him this lesson, because I thought immediately, it's not like I thought immediately, but like in my thoughts I was like, today I'm gonna teach him this lesson because I was going to work. And I guess my brain immediately thought that he was going to work today as well, which I should have seen as a message from the universe, because that's literally what happened. But I was like, nah, he doesn't work today. Like, what are the chances? The chances were, like, the universe literally told me what's gonna happen. But yeah, like, my subconscious, because we're connected to a collective consciousness, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I see him at work, and I'm like, oh my god, then I 100% need to teach him this lesson. And it's amazing how aligned I felt in that moment. I was just like, damn. Um, so I I I got blacked out. Like I don't remember anything I wanted to say. But I wanted to teach him how everybody is just and the universe experiencing itself in the human form, basically, which is what I said a few times today. And I always say that, like I always say that. I have to throw it in somehow, somewhere, right? Because let that sink in, right? Like that's a funky thought right there. So I wanted to teach him that because we went through stuff and we have this like Scorpio, he like wound, pain inside of our soul, you know what I mean, type vibe, because we're like so emo and and misunderstood, and like he doesn't really look emo, but if you talk with him, you're like, oh my god, this dude is so emo. But like he's like MGK emo. Like he doesn't look emo, but if he's gonna say like, oh yeah, I listen to like Falling in Reverse and I love Ronnie Radke, and he's gonna be like, actually, it doesn't look that far fetched. So I wanted to teach him to be more humble and to connect more with people, because what he mostly does is separate himself from society and say, well, people like us, like me and you, aren't like the society. And well, I kind of like agree with him, obviously, because like I said, we're out of the matrix, we understand the matrix, all of those things. But if you have that mindset for too long, it's gonna actually detach you from the environment. That's why you have to always like be on the move with your thoughts, with your opinions, with your feeling. You have to like go with the flow of the universe, because there are times where specific lessons are gonna teach you specific things. So you're gonna go through specific emotions and specific scenarios and all of that, and yeah, and for some people different things happen, and they don't experience the same things. I literally forgot where I was going with this. I literally forgot. But let me take a hit, Maybe I'll remember. I remember. Because this is also kind of like a way to get you stuck in the matrix, right? To feel a specific emotion forever. Not have nuances in your experiences and your emotions and your in your life, right? Not being on the move, not going with the flow of the universe, because the whole point is like keep turning. Like the wheel of fortune is always turning, like it never stops, like Earth never stops. It always is turning, basically. So if you stay angry and bitter for too long, you're gonna become like you're gonna create for yourself a very low vibration, and you're gonna create yourself wounds, like inner wounds, and you're gonna psychologically damage yourself, and you're gonna physically also damage your life, because the inner projects outside, as above so below. And like if you don't ever experience anger and bitterness and you stay only happy forever, you have no place for those emotions, which are very human emotions. So you start to suppress them or repress them, and they just like bulk up into this massive baggage that you carry on. And if you still think that you can't feel those emotions, you're just gonna forever like keep growing this bag, and it's gonna become huge every other second, and you're gonna feel like your life is crumbling. You're gonna feel like you are crumbling. You feel like nothing is real and all of those things, and you're gonna get derealized, depersonalized, whatever, because you're not dealing with reality, and you're trying to stay in a very one singular particular state for more than you should stay in, like I said, anger and bitterness, right? You have to feel it at some point. You must, for your body to actually process what you went through in a healthy way, emotionally, psychologically, physically. You need to feel that, because this is what you feel actually. So of course you need to feel that, because this is what your body wants you to feel. Like, it doesn't ask you, yo, do you want to feel that? No, like, it feels, So if psychologically you like I said, reject that, then like, what's the point of being a human? Like, like, might as well be born a vampire, I guess, like me. But if you do experience this bitterness and angry phase, or like this happiness phase for like a while, but then it helps you heal what you just went through, who made you feel the bitterness and anger, then that is a good thing, because after you heal that, you don't feel the anger and the bitterness anymore. So then you feel the happiness, and when something bad happens, you don't pretend that you still feel the happiness. You allow yourself to feel the bad feelings, because staying in one spot forever is not good. This is also, in many games, a very frowned upon strategy, right? To stay in one place for the whole game. Like, that sucks, like, nobody wants to play with someone that plays like that, so also other people in your life are gonna feel it, are gonna feel like that you're imbalanced, and either you're gonna attract imbalanced people into your life, or you're gonna set the balance off for your friends and family, as exactly like you did to your own. Sorry, I left lipstick on the microphone. Lip gloss, sorry. Semantics. But anyway, I wanted to teach him that, because I saw that he is really locking in on that, and I was like, this is gonna be the death of you if you don't like listen to that. Like, if you don't open your mind of this specific point of view, then it's not gonna end well, and I know exactly how it is, when it's like you build a villain arc, and you're like, I was always different, so I'm gonna show them different. They will never understand. They all suck. Like, the entire society is like a big bunch of fucking, and it's true. But we don't want to feel like that all the time, We want to know it, acknowledge it, believe in what is true and real and authentic, and know which people are real and authentic, and which people are not, and which people are in the matrix, and which people are not, because we are out and we can actually have an objective point of view, so like, yeah. But if you stay in that place forever of like, it's them and me, like, it's, like, during that separation, like, I'm better than them because I know the truth, like, I'm better than them because, I mean, it's good for like developing you as a hero in the hero's journey, right? But if you stay in that feeling for too long, it becomes your villain arc. Like, oh, I am so different. Fuck all of those bitches. I am different. right? And saying that isn't a villain arc per se, yeah. And the actual meaning of what a villain arc is, you know, you can categorize that as like a cute way. Oh my god, that's the villain arc. But like, what is actually a villain arc? You know, when somebody becomes a villain from that story. That story makes that character become a villain, you know? So I saw it coming because I knew I had like I had a god I always have a god complex. What can I do? I'm a fucking Aquarius. Like, bro, like, do you want me to act like I'm not God? Like, I can't. Like, what do you want me to do? No, I'm just joking. God, I know I'm not God, but technically, like I said, we are the universe experiencing itself in a human form. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. Like, if I want to play God, I play The Sims, okay? But, or like draw. Alright. I'm just like dark and mysterious. So, so, I'm not even high. Like, how am I this silly? Like, I'm not even this high. I'm just tired from work. I didn't work today. I just, like, was at work, sorry. But, yeah, so I just, like, felt that it is my responsibility, like I've stated. And honestly, it actually worked. It actually worked. Like, I tried teaching him that exact lesson, you know, and it worked. And he understood. And of course, I used like a Tao reference from like the Book of Tao and everything like that. And like, I made it like super intriguing and philosophical for no reason, you know what I mean? For him to have the drive to want to know the answer and want to, you know. I was like asking him, what do you think? Oh, yeah, I was asking him, he actually uploaded the story saying like, you were liking it, I was doing it, you know? Never forget that. Something like that. Something like cocky like that. And I was like, cool. Like, it's cute that he thinks this way. But like, like, I got nervous. I forgot what I was about to say. Like, it's cute that he thinks this way. But then I responded on that story and I said, you can always point out what is different from you and other people, but can you tell me what connects between you and other people? And he actually had a struggle with that. And the whole day at work, like the whole shift, I tried various ways to make him understand what I was going about, you know, and what he was kind of like thinking that was looking so silly and cocky and like understanding it in that way, you know what I mean? Like, it happened not long ago, like a few hours ago, you know? So I'm sure like it didn't sink in fully. Tomorrow I'm gonna send him like a few like details that he's gonna like be like, yo, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, I do that because I'm the teacher, you know how your teacher sometimes sends you like, oh yeah, this is like to help you with your homework, like I found this article, you know, that's me. Hello. That's me. So yeah. And actually, I'm so hot. Wow. I would smash. I do smash. So yeah, I actually filled my duties today as a mentor, and I'm happy about that. I am. And I'm gonna take that as my responsibility on myself because I feel like it is my duty to fulfill that. But also remember like boundaries and like psychological and energetical boundaries as well. Like, not try to psychoanalyze too much and not try to like sense the energy and read his mind too much, because I actually tend to do that sometime. Like I said, I am a vampire. Like, these are actually my teeth. Like, these are actually my teeth. Like I'm telling you, like, yeah. Anyway, anyway, yeah, and I was very happy that I could do that, and I was very proud of myself, and I was proud of my student for being like so smart. Oh my god, I'm like such a proud like mother. Like that's how I feel. Let's just finish this joint for the rest of the video, honestly. Because I'm like not here. So, anyway, thank you for listening to my very cute, wholesome story. Um, and you are more than more than welcome to leave a comment on this video if you have something to say. If you don't have something to say, that's cool. I relate. I usually don't comment on videos unless I actually do have something to say. So yeah. But you can also say like something silly like lol, and I'll just respond lol. You know, like yeah. Um, what was that? But okay. Um, but also like the video if you actually liked it. Don't like it because you want to be like, oh, like I'm just gonna press the like button. Like it if you actually like the video. I love you, and I will see you on a different video. And I guess that's all it is for tonight, because my French is killing me and I don't know how to fucking like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I used to have the best emo bangs out there, right? I had like the I was about to say envelope, but it's like more like of a like, how do you say it? Like a fan? Not a fan, but like a hold on. It's just a held hand fan. So imagine like the shape of a fan, just like, yeah, I had that, and I miss it so much. It's been like weird like that, like a fucking mullet, but like not a mullet, but like I don't know what's going on, but I am questioning my sexuality, and I do have parent related trauma, and I do not like people, but I do kind of like staring at myself in the mirror in 3 a.m. and I'm realizing that I have to change something in my hand. I do it, and then I don't like it because it looks like all of the things that I just said. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what happened actually. So, and you see how like the shape is like so misshapen. Like, how is this emo French? Like, can you please explain to me, Kesem? Like, where did you do emo French out here? But yeah, it is because I cut it too short. You know, half a year ago, I cut it too short, and then I just didn't let it grow out and fall on my face because it was summer, and I didn't want it in my face, so I just kept cutting it. We didn't go anywhere. We just stayed in the same fucking, like misshapen situation. Like, I also cut these. These are supposed to be like these, and I cut these. Do you realize what I did? But it's okay because I have more hair. Amazing. But yeah, thank you for like listening. Thank you for like, it was nice having you, really. And I will, like I said before, when I actually tried to end this video, and didn't forget I was ending this video and kept going. Yeah, thank you for watching. I love you a lot. Good night, and I will see you in the very next video that is not gonna be that far from now. So, kisses.